The documents are in order, but our work is not to look at papers, understand? Pay 5,000 taka or the truck will stay here. Sir, all my paperwork is correct, so what money are you asking for? I have not a single penny. I will not give you a single penny. Do whatever you wish. This is against the law, the way you are taking bribes. Correct it, or I will take every one of you to court. The highway shimmered under dust and sunlight, but one blue truck looked different from all the other trucks and cars. Arza Singh sat at its steering wheel, 24 years old, with hardness in her eyes, sweat on her brow, silence at her lips. Her hands gripped the heavy wheel, but one thought filled her mind. Today she must catch the corrupt policeman red-handed. Because she was no ordinary driver, she was an ACP, Assistant Superintendent of Police. Arza Singh was on the highway. The sun blazed high. From a distance, a checkpoint came into view, where 4 policemen stood, their uniforms dusted, yet gleaming with the gloss of corruption. They stopped trucks, and they looted. And the place where Arza's heart thumped fastest was precisely here, where the bribery network was strongest. She pulled the truck to the side, the engine stopped, and immediately a policeman raised his hand sharply, signaling her to halt. He took a deep breath, anger showing, yet Arza remained silent. A policeman approached, face stern, eyes greedy. Bowing slightly, he said, "Hey girl, you're driving the truck." "Get down." Arza got down. "Sir, all documents are correct, please check." She handed the papers forward, voice trembling slightly, eyes steady. The policeman took the papers, began to look them over. At the checkpoint, some villagers and small drivers stood, silently afraid. An old driver nodded his head as if saying it's his turn, but he did not run. He knew the fight was here. The police returned the papers, laughing, and said, "The documents are fine, but our job is not to check papers, you understand? Pay 5,000 taka, or the truck will stay here." Bitterness laced his smile, and the other policemen began to laugh. The helpless man said, "Sir, all my documents are in order." "Then what money do you want?" "I do not have a single penny. I will not give even 1 taka. Do whatever you please." "This is illegal, the way you're taking bribes. Fix it, or I will take you all to court." At these words, the policemen's faces reddened with anger. One said, "You'll teach us law? What's your status in front of us? Say too much, and you'll get such a beating you won't be able to hold the steering wheel again. Now stop talking nonsense and quickly take out the money. Otherwise, leave the truck here and go." Seeing the police's rudeness, Arza's blood boiled, but she remained silent. Her recording device was on. She said again, "Sir, please, where will I get the money?" "I'm a new driver." She acted. The policeman's face hardened further. He shouted, "New driver? A girl driving a truck? That's illegal. Under transport rules, women are not permitted to drive heavy vehicles. We'll seize the vehicle, put you in jail, pay 5,000 taka, or we'll dig your truck's grave." His words carried a strange mix of gender bias and corruption. Another policeman said, "Women shouldn't be on the road. They should be at home, rolling bread." The police signaled, "Search her. Check if she's carrying any drugs." One of them snatched Arza's purse, another started opening her bag. Arza's heart was pounding. Inside the purse were her phone, wireless mic, and tracker. If they looked too closely, the entire plan would fail. She was thinking fast, when suddenly one policeman asked, "What's this?" A cop pulled out a small device. Arza thought, "Now I'm caught." The truck search began. They climbed into the cabin and started rummaging through everything. Sweat dripped down Arza's body, but she didn't give up. Quietly, she slipped her hand into her pocket and pulled out her weapon, her SPID card. The police came down from the truck. One said, "Nothing found, but pay the money anyway." Then Arza threw her card onto the table. "Take a good look," she said. "I'm SP Arza Singh. From today, your game is over. There was a flash in her eyes. "You can't even imagine whose grave is going to be dug today." She pressed a signal on her phone. Sirens blared. The CBI and anti-corruption team arrived. They had been hiding near the checkpoint all along. Officers jumped out, guns raised. Arza wasn't just undercover. She was leading the entire operation. At her signal, everything happened in seconds. The police were surrounded. "Hands up!" "CBE!" shouted one officer. Media vans rushed in. Local news channels had been tipped off. Camera flashes exploded. One policeman fell to his knees. "Madam, we made a mistake," he pleaded. But Arza said coldly, "You wore this uniform and looted the people. Now this same uniform won't be able to save you." The silence of the checkpoint shattered. Sirens echoed through the dust-filled highway air. CBI and Anti-Corruption Bureau vehicles surrounded the post. The arrogance that had shown moments earlier when they were bullying Arza was gone. Their faces were pale, their eyes full of fear, hands trembling, the clink of handcuffs breaking the highway's silence. The media vans were ready with cameras rolling, and the breaking news ticker began to flash across every screen. Arza stood tall. The anger in her eyes had turned to satisfaction. She looked once more at the policeman and said, "You have dishonored the uniform. But from today the game of looting on this highway ends." Her voice was calm, but her words were as sharp as a blade. CBI officer Ramesh Sharma stepped forward quickly. With him were 4 more officers, holding recording devices and files of evidence. "In this evidence," he said, "every one of your crimes has been recorded. From taking bribes to threatening drivers, every step of your corruption is captured." He looked toward Arza and nodded slightly, as if to say, "Mission accomplished." A week later came the hearing day at the district court. The courtroom buzzed with noise. In front of the judge's chair stood lawyers, journalists, and several local people. The 4 policemen who'd been handcuffed that day now stood in the dock. The arrogance was gone from their faces. Heads bowed, eyes fixed on the floor. And the witness who was called forward wore white clothing, a white kurta and blue jeans. Yet his presence in the courtroom brought a different kind of authority into the room. The judge looked at him and said, "SP Arza Singh, the evidence you presented has made the case very strong, but we want to hear your full account." Then he began to speak in a calm voice. "Your Honor, I posed as a truck driver and ran that operation at the checkpoint because we knew a large corruption network was operating there. Those policemen didn't just take bribes. They terrorized drivers, especially women. They threatened me, said they would seize my truck, and insulted me on the basis of my gender. But every single word and every threat was captured on my hidden recording device." He pointed to the exhibits on the table: audio recordings, video footage, and witness statements. The prosecutor played the audio in court. The policemen's voices came through. "You're a woman driving a truck. That's illegal. Pay 5,000 rupees or we'll impound the vehicle." A hush fell over the courtroom. Then another voice. "Women belong at home. At the stove, not on the road." The judge's face grew stern. He looked at the policemen whose heads sank even lower. The defense counsel tried to argue. "Your Honor, my clients have been framed. This is a conspiracy." But the judge interrupted him. "Counsel, the evidence is so clear that your argument dissolves into thin air." Arza's testimony concluded. He explained step by step how he led the undercover operation alone, how he signaled the CBI and the Anti-Corruption Bureau, and how he alerted the media to expose the corruption to the public. "Your Honor," he said, "this is not just my victory. It is the victory of the drivers who are extorted every day. and of the women who have to endure humiliation on the road. The judge thought for a moment, then delivered his ruling. He said the court must take strong action against corruption and gender-based discrimination. The 4 police officers were sentenced to 7 years imprisonment and fined 500,000 rupees. The court also ordered a deep investigation of the wider network and directed the CBI to carry it out. The judge's gavel struck the bench. Outside in the courthouse corridor, drivers and villagers had gathered. As the officers were led out, the corridor erupted in applause. A young driver cried, "Madam, you've changed our lives. Now we can travel without fear." An elderly man took Ars's hand and said, "Child, you've shown us that women can do anything.